To be sharing with you in this video how to align consciously with your values and take action to create your life the way that you actually want it and the way that you actually want to see it. And so the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is just to remember that your actions are always aligned with your values, whether you realize it or not. So whether you're conscious of it or not, every single action that you take is aligned with your values and what you care about. Whatever it is that you care about in your life, whether you're conscious of what you care about or not, look at your actions. Look at the actions that you take on a daily basis. Whatever those actions are going to show you exactly what you care about, exactly what you value. What you're doing, how you're acting, the way that you're being is showing you what you care about and what you're valuing. And so if we just start to become conscious of how we're doing what we're doing, and also, what we're doing as well, what happens is that we start to take our power back. We start to be the person that we really want to be. We start to act in accordance to the values that we have, and we're no longer believing in something that somebody told us, something that we heard from the outside. We start to realize that, wait a second, I can control my values the way that I want to. I can choose who I want to be. I can choose my identity. I can choose the way that I want to show up. And I don't need to believe in something that somebody told me. I don't need to believe in the outside conditioned beliefs. Conditioned beliefs. I don't need to believe in the stories that don't resonate for me. Like if I don't like a story that I don't like that belief system, you don't need to take on that belief system. You can take on the belief system that you like, and then the belief system that you don't like, you can simply decide that you don't want that it's not part of your experience. And then so when you're going through your life, you can just see that now you can take actions that are aligned with your values and what you actually care about, what you truly value. And then so when we start to realize that we are always taking action with what we care about, whether we realize it or not, it starts to make you realize what actions you're taking on a consistent basis. What actions are you actually taking? What are you really doing? Because sometimes we're just taking action and we're not even thinking about why we're doing it. It's just this sort of unconscious just stuff happening, and we don't have any say in what's really happening to some degree. See, if you're consciously thinking about your intention as you go throughout your day, and you know exactly what you want and why you're doing what you're doing, and you know every single action that you're taking is for a very specific purpose, and you know why everything that you do is for a purpose. Like there's no question in your mind that it's happening for a reason, because you are the reason. You create the reason. The actions and the reason behind your actions, you create them. You're not waiting for somebody to save you, to tell you what those reasons are. You simply decide on those reasons for yourself, and you say that I can decide on what that reason is simply because I give myself permission to actually do so. And then that's just as simple as that. You can decide on what you want to be. You can decide who you are. You can decide your identity, and then just remember that as you go throughout your day, just to keep in mind that your actions, even if you're not thinking about your values, even if you're not conscious of your values, even if you're not consciously crafting your values, well, the actions that you take are still going to be aligned with what your current values are, even if you didn't decide on those on purpose. So even if you didn't think about those on purpose and you don't know what they are and you never thought about them and you never consciously thought about it, well, look at your actions. Those are still what you care about. That's still your values. That's still telling you what you care about. The actions that you're taking show you a lot about what you actually care about and what your values are and what you truly want in your life. What are you doing every single day? How much time do you spend on something every single day? How much time do you spend thinking about? What are you thinking about? Whatever you're thinking about every single day, you must care about that because you're thinking about it so much. So you may as well do it on purpose and consciously, rather than just stuff happening and you don't really know why you're thinking about it. To me, that's an interesting concept, just to keep in mind that as you're going throughout your day, we all have intentions. Those intentions are going to be happening. You're going to have filters. You're going to see the world through a certain lens. You're going to walk through life and see a certain life in a certain way. That's just the inevitable truth about the human existence, is that you have to see life through these filters. But it's a lot more fun and a lot more effective to create what you want when you consciously craft these filters in a specific, purposeful way, a very specific way where you do it on purpose. not an accident. It doesn't just happen. Your thoughts don't just happen anymore. You consciously decide on them simply because you give yourself permission to do so. And you say that I'm allowed to do that. And you absolutely are allowed to do that. And then so just remember that now you can start to see that your actions are going to be aligned with your values still, like before, like your actions always were, but now your values can be done consciously and on purpose. Which leads me to the second thing that I want to share with you in this video, which is just to remember that I think it's so important to become 100% clear on your values and what you care about the most in your life. Like, what do you actually care about? What are your values? I want you to get very clear on that. And then you don't have to do this, but I would invite you to just get very, very clear on this and get a very clear picture on what you care about, what your values are. What do you really care about in your life? Because if you don't know what you care about, you're still going to be caring about something. You're still, even if you don't consciously decide to care about something, you still care about something, and your actions will follow that. Whatever, like, that's just the truth of life. And that's what I really want people to understand, is that their actions will still show them what they care about. Whatever you care about, you're just going to take action towards that. So become 100% clear, and then now your actions will be done with more intention, with more of a reasoning behind them. And so I think it's a shame to walk through life and to not know what you care about most. So I would invite you to just be totally clear on that, be 100% clear, so that then you can start to live life in a way where you're not just floating around and waiting for stuff to happen, and then things just are the way that they are, and then you feel limited and you feel slow and you feel sluggish and there's no momentum. Life isn't about just having a sluggish and like slowness, and it's like you can't have what you want and there's always problems and nothing ever happens the way that you want. It's like, that's just not the way that it really has to be. When you start to become 100% clear on what it is that you care about, life starts to become a little bit different, because now there's that deeper part of you. There's that deeper, I would say that there's this deeper intelligence within us that just, now we know what actions to take and we know what we need to do. And then, but that part of us can't really be open if we don't know where we're going. And then so when you start to decide on what it is that you care about the most and what you actually want to do, what starts to happen is that now the actions that you had to do before that feel like a nuisance to you, you just feel excited to do, because you know that every action that you're doing in that moment is bringing you one step closer to the goal that you want. Every single moment that you're taking action, you know in the back of your mind, in the forefront of your mind, that you're getting closer to your vision and what you care about the most and what you actually want to see be created in your life. And that, to me, that's amazing. So become totally clear on your values. What do you actually care about? What do you truly care about most? And then, see, a lot of people don't know what they care about most. But then, like I said it before, you're still caring about something even if you don't do that on purpose. You still care about something. What do you care about? You don't know? Well, you still care about something. And there's still going to be actions and consequences that come from the choice of thinking that you're not caring about anything when you are. And you're, because you always have, if you're alive and you're a conscious human being, you're putting energy into something, in your some kind of some way of being. But that way of being can be done more on purpose. And that's my invitation to you, is to become 100% clear on what that purpose is, so that then your actions can start to be followed by that in a much easier way, where now things don't really feel as forced. As you walk throughout your day, be 100% clear on exactly what you care about, what your reasoning is behind why you're doing what it is that you're doing. And that's how you're going to align consciously with your values and take action to create your life, because you're going to be able to just know what you're doing, where you're going, and exactly why you're doing what it is that you're doing. So I encourage you just to walk through life, to have that clear perspective on what it is that you want, and things are just going to be a lot easier for you. Things are going to be coming together a lot easier. And that's just what I've noticed in my experience, is that when I know what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it and where I'm going and the direction that I'm headed in, there's something within me that just knows what I have to do. And there's that, I think that's all within us. And we just, because we know what we have to do to get our goal, but we just don't know what we want sometimes, or we know what we want and we're just not willing to trust in the answer that comes through, just to do that simple thing to get the result. It's a lot of times it's not difficult. It's not a hard thing. It's not necessarily extremely difficult. It's just maybe something so simple and possibly even so easy that we just really neglect the significance of how powerful that really is just to have an intention, trust what you have to do, and then just do it. It can be so simple. It can be something so easy that you might think it has to be difficult, but it's not that it has to be difficult. It's just that you have to do it, and people just don't follow through with what they know that they have to do to create what it is that they want. To create what it is that they want. So I encourage you just to be more clear on what you care about, and then you're going to start to see that those actions that you need to take will just be known in a very easy way what they are. You'll know in a very easy way what those actions are, what it is that you have to do, and how you have to be, and what it is that you have to create in your life, and how you have to create it in exactly the person that you need to be to get there. And so the third thing that I want to share with you in this video is just to remember that I think it's so important to put this all together, and then once you become clear on what you want, to fearlessly and boldly take action towards those values, towards what you care about. Just do it fearlessly and boldly. I would say every single day, but if not every single day, just have whatever works for you on an extremely consistent basis. If not every single day, just just do it as much as possible. As much as possible, fearlessly and boldly take action towards what it is that you want. Like, just don't think of it in any other way, because if you're not bold enough, if you're not willing to be bold, if you're not willing to be fearless, somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is going to take that spot, and then they're going to be fearless instead of you, and then you're not going to be able to get the thing that you really wanted. And so it's important just to not trust in the fear. When you're feeling really, really scared, well, what can you do with that fear? You can take that fear and then change it into something much more powerful. Change it into something much better. Change it into something that you prefer to see instead, because your emotions are controlled by you. You're in control of your emotions. You're in control of how really you're feeling. And if you feel something that you're not in control of, you're in control of how you respond to that feeling that you're not in control of, and how you perceive that, which is inevitably going to change how you feel. Because if you're resisting something that you don't like, you're going to create more of that. But if you have a good relationship with something that you don't like, inevitably it tends to go away. And so funny enough, if you're fearless towards your goal, as you know what you want, that's how you're going to get it. If you know what you want and you're willing to fearlessly and boldly take action towards it, you're going to get what you want. You're going to get it. And so it's really a matter of deciding wisely what you want, because you're going to create it. You're going to have it, and you're going to see it happen, and you're going to see the results happen. But just remember, what you want will happen. So choose what you want wisely and choose what you actually want, because you're going to create it.